Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday live stream. I actually made it on Wednesday this time. Last week, I didn't do it till Friday. I themed this live stream doing it the wrong way. And I had all these things I was going to talk about, and it was going to be kind of like doing it the wrong way production-wise and all that. And to be honest with you, there's been so much going on with other things here and my YouTube channel and the stream, and I was having OBS. Oh my God, I was having OBS nightmares this morning. This OBS was freaking out of me. So I'm kind of unprepared. So I could start off by saying doing it the wrong way. A great example would be me today. I'm doing it the wrong way. I didn't prep last night because I was doing something else. So yeah. But I have something I'm actually going to talk about with doing it the wrong way, but I would encourage people to maybe bring up examples of doing things the wrong way and how it was a good idea. Oh, I see some people over here on YouTube.
Yeah, I was going to say shout out to Copenhagen and also Ontario.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, wow, cool. And I see some people over there on Instagram, and I don't know what's going on with Twitch. It's not sending out. I see, of course, Casey is there. Casey, always there. Good to see you. And yeah, Casey, we need to set up a call to talk about the Discord channel here soon. I'll try to do it today. I just released a video just a few minutes ago on YouTube that is called, oh my God, I can't. What's my video called?
It's called Well Damn.
Oh, it's Well Damn.
About my Rick Beato video.
About the Rick Beato video. So I guess a week or so ago, I put out a video where I was responding to a video that Rick Beato did where he was talking about why music is starting to sound bad. And I didn't expect to get that many views on it. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to play you just a little clip of that here's just the beginning of the video. And this is what just came out today. I'm going to go ahead and play it. We ready there?
Shout out to UK as well.
Last week, I put out a video called Why Music is Getting Worse, Rick Missed the Mark. And it was a response to a video that Rick Beato had put out called The Real Reason Why Music is Getting Worse. And I did that because I legitimately had something I wanted to say. And also, I thought it'd be kind of fun to poke at Rick a little bit, who I've known since 1997. I mean, it's just something we've done before. I didn't expect the video to get that many views. I thought I'd maybe get 2,000 or 3,000 views at most, but it's kind of blown up. And there were more comments than I've ever gotten before. And I wanted to respond to a bunch of them because maybe I didn't explain myself well. And then some of them were things that made me kind of change my mind. But first, I'd like to talk about what my main point in my video was about, which I don't think a lot of people actually got to because it was at the end. But here was my main point. Rick was saying that technology is killing innovation because it's making music easier to do. Now, I know he said other things, but that seemed to be his main point. I think technology is killing innovation because it intrudes on our minds, our creative minds. Art requires uninterrupted space and time for us to go down the rabbit hole of some crazy idea that's stirring around and around in our head. And all these notifications and... Damn, I can't believe I didn't turn the ringer off. All these notifications and, oh my God, Discord. We're being pulled out of ourselves and our creative space. It's also about influences. So back in the day, if you were chasing a song or trying to do a recording or anything like that, and you were having problems, there was no internet to just, go figure that out. There were very few resources. So you were forced to invent your own processes, solutions, and sounds. And if you were really stuck, you would probably reach out to somebody who's a little bit more experienced as a songwriter, a musician. And these people were usually vetted. They were probably people who had been out actually doing music for a living. So they're bringing in, new ideas for chord changes and melodies and key changes and stuff like that. Whereas today, if you're stuck on a song, sure, there's a lot of resources out there, but I hate to say it, a lot of these people, from what I've seen, they're all kind of given the same types of advice, and a lot of them have not actually really gone out there and really done it. And the few that have probably did it for a short amount of time before they started making videos. So you're not really getting that depth of knowledge. The people who are really doing music, the real freaking pros, they're too busy doing that to make videos. Or they're not crazy enough to do all of that and later on make videos and stay up all night and not get any sleep and wear yourself out, and then you start looking really old. And I know I look really old. I'm actually only 27 years old. Anyway, I hope that explains my opinion a little bit better. On to the comments. There are a lot of comments. So that's just a little bit of the video that came out today. So hopefully y'all can go watch it. Kit is pasting up links to that video right now.
No, that's already up.
Oh, yeah. Kit's pasting them up. Before I get any further, I would like to introduce everybody that's here today. Somebody who's not been here in a long time. Jimmy B.
Hey, surprise, surprise.
We got Jimmy B from the Tokyo Teens in there with Kit. Kit, you got to say something in the mic.
I'm saying something. Hey, guys.
There you go.
Good
Kit's
to see
here.
y'all.
And we've got Harper, which Harper, I don't, is the room mic or is the room camera getting you? Here, raise your hand. Stand up. Here, hold on. Harper's here. Yeah, Harper wasn't here for 2 weeks, and it really made my job hard. Oh my God! Like last week, because he's normally helped me control stuff. I went for like 2 or 3 minutes with no audio because he's normally. Oh, I see PR's on. What's up, PR? What's going on? So yeah, that's what's going on. Everybody's here, and the theme for today is, not only the new video that just came out, but also doing it wrong. And I'm going to tell a little story. Oh, I see Rhett's here. And also, if anybody's got anything to add to the conversation, let me know. Oh, and thanks for subbing to the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. Oh, and I would like to say before I get on, I just have to say something because I feel really good about this. It's been I got to tell you, my YouTube channel, I've been working on this for years, and I think I'm finally figuring something out here, but I'm up to over 16,000 subscribers. And I think that last video is at 99,000 views. I've never gotten anything near that close. We might break 100,000 today, so it's absolutely incredible. I'd just like to thank everybody for watching it and commenting and subscribing.
Thank you, guys. Yes.
Yeah, yes, it's just been amazing. There's been some dark times over the last couple of years as far as this channel is concerned, just like not enough views and all that. But I guess that kind of ties into doing it the wrong way. And I think that's kind of what I realized on the YouTube channel, that I was just doing a lot of things the wrong way. A part of it was, your thumbnails and your titles, and I'd get mad about it. And because I'm stubborn and I feel like they should just be focusing on the content. But then it was actually his Bone Crusher who made a point. He's like, well, you got to think of your YouTube channel like being a store. You can have the best stuff in that store, but if you don't have a good sign, people don't know you're there. And I was like, oh, I have to be a sign maker. So I started thinking about that and kind of, get my skills up on graphic design and making thumbnails, which I'm terrible at, and the titles. But at the same time, and I know this sounds kind of like contradictory, but there's a certain part of me that kind of didn't give a crap as much. And a great example would be my video, was it all worth it, or is it a waste of time? And I'm going to pull up that thumbnail real quick. I think I can find it. Hold on. And the reason it's kind of funny, that one in particular, is because when I made that video, and it's been out for a few weeks now, I was tired and I was just frustrated. And I was like, I'm sick of worrying about my thumbnails. I'm just going to put something up here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. It's actually, it has a weird name. It's actually not named what it is in the hold on. Oh my God, I've done a lot of videos.
Which one are you looking for?
I'm looking for the ghost video, but I think up here it's called ghost video or something stupid like that. Hold on.
Well, just go to most popular videos. It's not that.
Oh, I can do it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll show you. Hold on. Let me go to okay, yeah, it's this video here. Well, I want to show the thumbnail. That's the whole point. You can't really see it so good. I don't even know where it is. Yeah, right here. I'll zoom in on it. Was it all worth it? And it's got 54,000 views, which is great for me. But look at that thumbnail. That's a terrible thumbnail. It does everything wrong. It's like blurry. You can't see my face. It wasn't even 4K. And it was just a shot from the video. And I thought, oh, wow, not caring, doing it the wrong way. Maybe, I don't know if the thumbnail had something to do with it, so sometimes doing it the wrong way is the best thing. What was I going to say? I'm a little frazzled right now. You caught a ghost. I did, Casey. I will tell a story, though. I want to talk about doing it the wrong way. And I'm going to tell a little story about my career. So I started back in the 70s. And back then, it was pretty typical to have, when you're making a record, you'd have an engineer, then you'd have a guy that mixed it, and you'd have a producer, you had your artists, and you had musicians. And because I never went to school and nobody ever taught me anything, and I never worked in a studio. I've actually never seen somebody mix a song in my life, which is kind of crazy because that's what I've done for a living. But I never worked anywhere, so it just seemed to me like, well, I got a studio in my parents' basement in high school. I guess I should learn how to record and mix and play. And then I built a studio in North Atlanta in somebody's house, and then eventually moved into my place. But in the 80s, as I started coming up and meeting people and having people come to the studio, I'd get people that come in and said, well, if you recorded it, you can't mix it. And I'm like, why? And they're like, that's just wrong. The person that records it should not be the person that mixes it. You'll not have the right perspective and all that kind of stuff. You don't have an objective point of view. And I do get the idea of that. But to me, it was kind of like, yeah, I have to struggle sometimes with the fact since I recorded it and wrote the songs and sang and played on it, it gives you like a messed up. It's hard to get a good mix in the early years because you're just thinking wrong about it. But there's a practical aspect to me. It's like, I can't afford to pay anybody. So I was always doing all those things. And then that became a little bit more common as time went on because home studios became more popular. And then Pro Tools came out and you could put a Pro Tools rig and do a whole record, as they say, in the box. That was kind of a new thing. And I was one of the first people to really get into that. And I do think, I don't know what the official standing on this is, but I do think I'm one of the first people to actually have a #1 record on Billboard that was completely recorded and mixed in a computer. I was beat out by a couple months by Phil Tan, but we were all there kind of at the same time. And so the home studio thing, people didn't give me so much hell about that, being a mixer and a producer and an artist all at the same time. But then what I started getting a lot of flack about was that I work in multiple genres. I liked working on rap. I liked working on rock. I would go do some other weird things. And I was still getting a little bit of flack about wearing all these different hats. So I had a manager and he was always saying, you need to just stick with rap or just stick with rock or only mix rock or only produce rap. And I get the wisdom of that, but that's what everybody told me. But I'm stubborn. I'm going to do the things the way I do. And then the music business crashed. And most of my friends got out of the business. A lot of people lost their homes and their studios and all that. And then also technology changed. And now, especially with film, YouTube and doing social media and all that, it's kind of a requirement that you need to be able to be an artist, make videos. You need to be able to mix and engineer and produce to at least a good enough degree to get your stuff out until you can afford to pay somebody. Nobody blinks an eye now. So it's kind of like this thing that I was doing the wrong way for years and years and years is now considered normal. And I'm not saying that I'm some sort of not trendsetter. What would be the word? Innovator.
Innovator.
Yeah, I was just doing what I could do in my basement, So anyway, that's one way that I did it wrong. All right, Jimmy, I'm going to throw it at you. I know I mentioned this to you last night. I hope you got something to say about doing it the wrong way.
Well, we all do it the wrong way at some point, and it's because we're trying to learn. And just look at it like this. Sometimes you have to do it the wrong way to figure out what the right way really is. And so it's a learning thing. And and not always a bad thing if we're learning from it. So, and it just makes us better at what we do, and the learning curve sometimes is longer.
Yeah, it is for me. I'm a slow learner.
And, but I'm just putting a little positive spin on it, without going into any specific examples. It's not always horrible to do it the wrong way. We're learning as we go, so we should be.
Yeah, that's, you bring up something, and it got me thinking about something that a friend of mine, Michael Allenby, who is a music manager, I don't know if he's managing people anymore, and there's actually an interview with him up on my YouTube channel. And I was talking about putting in your 10,000 hours and failures. And I guess that kind of ties into it too. And he made a really good point, and that is when you do something the wrong way and mess up, instead of looking at it as a failure, you should kind of look at it as research. Your mistakes and the things that you did wrong provide you with a bunch of data points. He said you can look at a situation, you did something wrong, and you say, okay, that, and that. Don't do that again. But that's information to use. And I never thought about that. And I was like, oh my God, that's a really great way to think about it. When you do it the wrong way, that's kind of, like, how far can I push it this way before that was too far? And this could apply to anything, whether you're producing, mixing. And actually, it's funny. Okay, now I'm thinking about stuff. Let's pop to the overhead real quick. So I have a term, and I call it, it's just my little term, it's called pushing the fader up. So like when you're in a mix, sometimes the client or even me, I'm like, oh, should the volume be here or here or here? And you're trying to nudge this fader a little bit. And sometimes, nudging it a little bit, you think it might sound better, you're nudging a little bit. And I realize, you know what, I'm going to just be drastic about it. If I feel like it's not quite enough, I'm going to turn it way too loud. And I'm going to turn it down way too much. And I'm going to kind of be ridiculous about it. And sometimes instead of being careful with it, I'm just going to do something kind of crazy. And we can come back to the front camera. But the point being is that it's a way to figure out what is right. By obviously turning it up way too much or way too low, then you kind of say, okay, that's obviously too far. So sometimes doing it the wrong way are a great way to figure out what is the right way. Let's kind of look. I think there's a couple questions here. I see one on Instagram.
Well, over here we've got from Chronic Dream. Was there ever a big song that you heard on the radio that you thought the mix was horrible? And will you name names? Haha.
No, I mean, not including mine. Oh, and by the way, hey, Chronic Dream.
Hey, Dave.
So, I don't actually, it's funny because as a mixer, when I'm listening to the radio or whatever, I don't think I'm listening. I mean, maybe when I was younger, I'm not listening to the mix so much. I kind of take that off and I just want to listen to it like a regular human. See you, Luna.
I would like to chime in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's interesting. If you're talking about bad mixes, I'm going back to the time of AM radio, and so this would be primarily in the 60s and 70s. A lot of those records were mixed for AM radio. All right. And so, and in my opinion, a lot of those records sound horrible because they had to mix to AM radio, which it sounds horrible. It's great for talk radio. It's not great for music. And so I think if you're looking for examples, you could probably go back to some of the 60s pop, and that would be why a lot of those records maybe don't sound super great. I mean, there are a lot of reasons. Some of it sounded good, but having mixed it for that medium probably doomed a lot of those.
Something did pop in my mind, though, Chronic Dream. So Brendan O'Brien, who's a famous producer and mixer and, Stone Temple Pilots and Soundgarden and Train and a bunch of other stuff, and he mixes very fast. And everybody says he's a great mixer, but the weird thing about his mixes is they're kind of like disproportionate. So if you listen to some of his mixes sometimes, the guitar solo will be way too loud. Or there's another song, I don't remember what it was, but it sounded like he might have gotten too much hi-hat on the snare drum mic, so it sounded like he put a gate on it. But if you actually are really paying attention, you'll go, oh my God, every time the snare drum hits, you hear this whoosh, whoosh from the hi-hat on the gate. And I would have spent a lot of time trying to smooth that out, or maybe I would have put a sample in with the snare to kind of allow me to turn it down or something like that. And in a weird way, his mixes aren't good when it comes to what should be the proper balance, but they're vibey. And I think that's the thing, that sometimes people are trying to get perfect mixes, and sometimes a good mix is, if you're trying to go for an emotional thing, it's actually kind of a bad mix. And another example would be Outkast's Hey Ya. Hey Ya. There's hardly any low end in that thing. And it was like, came out on urban radio, but there's no big 808 in it. It's kind of weird. It's like, and somebody pointed that out to me after years. And I was like, wait a sec. And I was like, God, there is hardly any low end in it. But I don't actually listen to stuff most of the time and think about the mix. Although when I was painting the living room kit, we were listening to those Enya albums, and I noticed like there's a lot more 8K in certain songs. But it's pretty rare. Let's see. Is there anything else here? Jarga Pics here on Instagram. Do you follow suit? He's talking about thumbnails. Do you follow suit and make clearly clickbait one and get more views, or stay true and just make a normal thumbnail and get less views but stay honest? I mean, I'm definitely trying to get clicks, But the thing is I did make thumbnails that were, I need to get clicks. I go to my YouTube channel and look at some of my older videos, and you'll be like, oh God, those are terrible thumbnails. I can see one right here now. Actually, let's go to my DAW real quick. So right here, this one that says, I didn't use reverb on my vocals for 10 years. It's like, well, everybody's like, you got to have this big text and you got to lean forward. And it's like, I hate these thumbnails. I'm eventually going to go back and redo some of these. That was what, and maybe I'm just an idiot, but it seemed like I was doing what everybody said I should do, I've gone back. I don't know, man. I'm definitely, like trying to get clicks. So, but I don't want to do something stupid. But I do want to be true. And in my more recent videos, I feel like I've been having a little bit more fun with it. I just make sure that you can see the text well and stuff like that. So it's a weird, it's almost like trying to write a hit song. You want to make something catchy, but you don't want to be ridiculous about it, but you want to like it because you're an artist. So it's always a balance. It's very similar to that. Do you have anything over on, I see YouTube's got some people here.
There's some discussion, people chiming in on what are some of the worst mixes ever.
What are the worst? God, it's funny. I don't really. Okay. I think some of the older Eagles records aren't mixed well. Like the big ones, like the album that had Hotel California on it. You wouldn't think about it being a bad mix unless you compared it to other stuff at the time. And you'd be like, oh, I can hear the snares rattle and all that. You know why you don't notice the mix being bad? It's because the songs were so damn good. And the performances were good. And it's funny because I obsess over my mixes, but at the same time, I feel like as long as you can get the beat and the melody and all that, that's kind of the main thing. I don't know. I don't really listen to Harper. You got any songs you think are mixed bad?
Probably like "Take Off Your Cool" by Outkast. That's not really mixed completely, I don't think, but
yeah,
it's still a good song.
Yeah, I just don't think about it. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough. I should have like a lot to say about this.
Metallica is mixed horribly.
Metallica mixes are bad?
Yeah, there's no bass in some of those early records.
Well, that's not the mixer's fault or the producer's fault.
The band's fault.
Yeah, there's some stories about that where they just kind of gave them hell and turned that stuff down and down and down. And I think there's a Manchester Orchestra record, and I heard it before it came out because I was working with Dan Hannon at the time, who's the producer, and Andy, the singer. He was really popular, so he had a lot more control. And I remember Dan was playing me these mixes, and they're getting ready to, supposedly the final mixes. I'm like, what's with the drums, man? Like you can literally barely hear the drums. And I don't know, as Andy just was really kind of pushing his thing on that, and I just thought it sounded kind of good. I mean, it sounded good. Everything sounded good. Just the drums were low, and it was kind of wacky. I would have been like, oh my God, I just
It's
I don't know what album that was, though. That was years ago.
And then you have When Doves Cry by Prince with no bass guitar in it, no bass at all.
Yeah, that's more of a production thing.
Which is not, that's a professional choice, not really in the mixing.
I remember.
Can we tell we have a bass player who's commenting on bad mixes?
Where's the bass? Without bass, you're in trouble.
Oh, I'm going to go ahead and take a little...
well, there's a little discussion going on over here on Discord. Casey was commenting on is it a bad mix or is it bad equipment? And so now there's different... Like he's saying if you don't have any money, you get a Behringer, but if you do have money, you never would. And then Fragile is here, and definitely saying that, basically we're going negative on Behringer over here in Twitch.
Hey, well, we're running through a Behringer right now for this live stream. I got this little 2-channel Behringer that all the audio is going through for the live stream, so that works. Not a bad little unit. I was going to play a little video here, and it's a way to answer a question I get asked all the time on the streams, and people are always asking, like, do you do tutoring or mentoring? And I always have to answer this several times during the stream, so I just went ahead and made a little video. I love doing these live streams and answering your questions. I know sometimes I can't get into too much detail because I'm trying to get to everybody else's questions, but if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find videos about recording, mixing, production, as well as my past live streams. If you still want more in-depth knowledge, I do one-on-one private coaching and tutoring online to help you record and mix your songs. But we can also talk about the music business, your live stream setup, your studio setup, filming, editing, whatever. When we're talking, the time is yours. We're going to focus on what you need. I also occasionally record on people's songs live online while they watch so we can interact like we're in the studio together. If you're interested in doing any of this on an ongoing, regular basis, you can join my Patreon and sign up for private consultations. However, if you just want some help here and there when you need it, you can reach out to us at contactbillyhume@gmail.com and we'll take care of you. Now, back to our regular programming. All right, so yeah, don't be afraid to hit us up if you need some help. I was actually looking at the comments here. Somebody said, where was it? AFEU, no one cares about the mix. And I think you're kind of right in a way, although I think it's one of those things that people will be affected by the mix without realizing it. But I do think there's a certain point where, God, I had this one client, oh my God, I actually really liked his production, but I would send him a mix and he'd send me back these notes like, turn up 3.7K, 1.3 dB on a certain synth or something like that. I'm like, okay, man. Sure, I would just do it. To me, there's a certain point where if I feel like if you got a good mix, you can kind of turn a few things up or down. It's not going to make a much difference in the overall, reception of the song to the audience. That's something more for the producer. You just got to make sure that the intention of the mix of the song gets out. I think you can mix a song. And I was certainly guilty of this in the day where I was just trying to make it so clean and so perfect that I kind of like sucked the life out of it. But at the end of the day, it's just if it's a good song, it's a good song. That helmet on the monitor rules. Oh, can you see the helmet?
I think maybe in the room shot.
Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe they're talking about my video that I just played. Duh, Jesus.
Oh.
There's just been so much going on in my life right now in the last few days. I got to tell you, and Jimmy, by the way, I meant to apologize for the floor. I haven't vacuumed down here. I've been basically living in the studio the last few weeks.
Thank God I didn't drop a guitar pick.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's just been nuts. It's just been absolutely nuts. And another thing and I'm eventually going to get to this, I've had a lot of people say that they want to see some more recording session streams. And let's go to the room camera here real quick. When I first started streaming, and I was doing it mostly on Twitch, I would do 7-hour-long streams, and it would be me and often Jimmy here. Sometimes Slade would be here and other people, and we would just make up songs and all that. And I kind of got away from it. And it's funny that I have a room camera up because it was like the thing I always had back in the day because there'd always be a lot of people here. I just kind of wanted to show it again. It's a bit of a mess now because I've been living down here, but anyway. If I am going to get back around to doing some session streams, I'm just not ready for it right now because there's just been a lot of crazy stuff going on, just good stuff. And I kind of felt like I needed to back up a little bit and focus on the YouTube channel and how I'm making videos. I'm also working on my own album, finally. So I've been spending some time on that. I'm making some videos about working on my own songs that have been featured in some of my YouTube videos, and I've gotten a lot of good comments about it. Also trying to deal with TuneCore, which was a nightmare. We want to talk about that. I had some issues with TuneCore the last few days, and there's been a lot of things that I've kind of started, but I never really was able to finish them and connect, and I'm kind of getting there, but we're going to get around
Not to
to
mention
some.
all the issues with Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. But I feel like I'm kind of getting some momentum here. Thanks. I'm glad you like the studio. I have. It does look like I've been here about 30 years. I feel like that. I'm going to play a little clip from the new YouTube video that I just put out. Hold on, let me close this here. So yeah, I just put out a YouTube video today, and here is a little clip from it. In my video, I said this: the people who are serious artists are using technology and they are making great music. It's just that they have to compete with a horde of hobbyists. And I got a lot of comments where people would say, I'm a hobbyist. And I was like, oh man, I didn't mean to be a jerk or anything like that. If you're a hobbyist and you're making music, I don't care if it's bad or it's good or whatever, man, keep doing it. Put it out. I would never suggest that, amateurs or hobbyists shouldn't put out music. Put it out. If we just all got to work a little harder to promote and get our stuff out there to be heard, then we just got to work harder. And if you're having a hard time finding good music because of the horde of hobbyists, then maybe you need to get off your damn and work a little bit harder to find the good music. I'll also say this: the hobbyists are probably having a lot more fun, because I've noticed sometimes when people are trying to be so professional, it's not fun anymore and they make boring music, which is why I've kind of developed this kind of weird mental state that even if I'm doing something at the highest level of professionalism as far as the job and all that's concerned, I still just, in my mind, I'm just still thinking I'm doing a demo. I just make sure it's in tune and the technical part's right. But yeah, that's how I think. So yeah, that's a clip from the video that came out today. Elijah, did you say you already saw that? That's cool. That's awesome. I was going to say something. Hold on. I realized I just closed something I didn't mean to close. But, I'll come back to this. So I say this in the video I put out today, but I kind of want to repeat it here just for anybody that didn't hear to catch it. I just want to say I'm so blown away by the comments I've gotten on the Rick Beato response video I did, but also the one I put out about, how music is today is starting to sound the same. And I was expecting a lot more hate. Yeah, there's always dumb comments, but man, the level of comments and the thought people put into this stuff kind of blows me away. And it kind of made me realize like, I need to kind of like up my game to make sure I got my crap together a bit more. But it's been really like, it's been really inspiring is all I got to say. It's been really, really inspiring. And I'm really grateful that everybody watched. And, even when people give me a hard time, I like that because I want to know. For instance, like if I do a mix or I do a production and I play it for people, they're always like, oh, that's really good. I'm like, cool, thanks, man. But can you tell me what you don't like? I literally want to know what you don't like, or what you think is wrong with it. I might not always agree, but there's so many times if you just allow people to be critical and let them know that you're willing to listen, you're going to learn some amazing things. Because, how else would you know? You've got to, we're all stuck inside our heads. We're all in here, How do you get outside and see that? Let's see. Are there any questions here? Okay, so yeah, a kick I think is a little weird. We're talking. So over on Twitch, they're talking about different platforms, and I think there's something going on. I've been having problems with Instagram. I'm not sure about Kick. I don't know if anybody's got any opinions over there. I just think it gets kind of it's kind of weird over there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Chronic Dream. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna vent about TuneCore. I made a mistake. I'm gonna admit it. I accidentally combined my regular YouTube channel with my official artist channel on YouTube, which is kind of this thing that when you release a song through TuneCore and they want to distribute it through YouTube, they just create like a little web page with your artwork and they put the song up and it says, Billy Hume topic, right? I didn't realize that's what I was doing because I was trying to whitelist my YouTube channel on TuneCore so that I wouldn't get demonetized because I've got a lot of my music up in my videos and I was about to upload my album Frisbee Bomb Craters that I did years ago, and then I realized, this is going to demonetize some of my videos. So I was trying to whitelist it and it was a pain in the butt, and I accidentally combined my OAC, my official artist channel on YouTube with my current YouTube channel, which is doing great, and it's kind of messed it up, but oh my God, I've had to keep going back and read. It keeps throwing my videos up on the front page, which I don't want yet. I'm not really ready to push that stuff yet. But here's the thing. On TuneCore, I kept looking for support, and they kept saying, "Oh, you can go to this page and do an email." There would be no email, but there would be like an AI bot, right? And so I started asking the bot question, and it would never answer my questions. And sometimes I'd ask something about, how I'm linking to YouTube or whatever, and it would tell me about my album art. It was completely... It's not even getting the questions right, and it's been a nightmare. There's no phone number I can call. There's no way to email, and I'm starting to think, and I believe this about Instagram too. I think TuneCore and Instagram, they created this company. It's now run by computers, and they're all at the beach smoking blunts or something. I don't think anybody's in the freaking office. I got to tell you, there is nobody there. I can't get any help at all. And I've had an issue with Instagram, and I don't even, just another issue. I've sent them multiple messages. I'm about to put out a video about it. I don't think anybody's actually at the office. I think that we're all just out here doing our thing. And as long as you don't do anything wrong or there's no mistakes, it kind of works. But if there's any issues, you're kind of fucked. And I may have fucked up my TuneCore and my damn YouTube channel. I'm praying, because right now I can see all my views, which are doing great, but my analytics show me that I have like 12 views because nobody's looking at my artist videos. I haven't promoted my music yet. I'm just building towards that. So anyway, that's my little rant about TuneCore.
Couple folks asking if you're over on TikTok.
I have videos on TikTok, and that's another one of those things. On my TikTok channel, I was regularly getting, I've got some videos that have like 100,000 views and stuff like that. I was regularly getting thousands, maybe 10 or 12,000 views, but usually, a few thousand views. And then at some point, I just started getting like 12 views, 7 views. Then a video would get 1,400 views, and the next one would get 10 views. And you know what? I ain't got time for that crap. If I've already got a vertical video, and I'm going to put it on YouTube or Instagram, I'll go ahead and throw it up on TikTok, but I spend no time there. I think it's a crap-ass platform as far as I'm concerned. I don't think I've got almost 7,000 followers, but of course, most of them aren't seeing anything. They changed the algorithm. It's like, look, if I'm going to bust my ass making videos, at least treat me fairly. I don't know why on these platforms, if I've got followers, why isn't that when I put up a video, if I've got 7,000 followers on TikTok, why is it that not all 7,000 followers of the people that are following me have that video show up in their feed that day? Why not? What is the point? What is the point? It's like, good Lord. Same thing with Instagram. Okay, I'll tell you what's going on with Instagram. I've lost over 3,000 followers on Instagram in the last 2 months or so. I thought maybe I was doing something wrong. And then I saw some other video somebody made about flagged followers. So in your Instagram, you can turn on this thing that says, flag accounts that look like bots or something like that. And I turned it off because I was afraid it was going to flag some people. I go in there and somehow that setting got turned back on. So I had like 2,000 people flagged. Supposedly, you're supposed to be able to go through the flag followers and approve them individually. I never could. But here's the thing. Accounts that get flagged automatically get deleted or removed from your following list in your account after 30 days. So I saw definitely a lot of the stuff that was flagged was crap, but I'm seeing people that I know are flagged and I can't approve them, and they got unfollowed or they got removed from my account. And that's what I've been sending them messages about. It's like, hey, I'm losing followers. Why am I busting my ass? I am working so hard for free because Instagram doesn't pay me. I make no money on Instagram. There was a short period of time where they sent me a little money. I think 1 month I made $120. 1 month I made $105. But I spend a lot of time on this stuff. And why is it that they took the money away, and then you're going to take my followers away? What the hell with you? So I'm focusing on YouTube. I have a couple issues with YouTube, but by God, when I had problems the other night, I did actually get a human on chat at 2 a.m. I thought it was actually a bot first. I was like, "You're not human," and I assure you, I'm human. Then actually, they said some things like, "Oh, okay," but they hung with me even though I was being a jerk, and they were polite even though I said some things, and I was like, okay, there's something there. I got some answers. But, that's how I feel about Instagram and TikTok. I feel like we're all just like cattle or something like that? Is this the goddamn Matrix? I was going to say teleport. I don't know where that was going to come from. It's like, I don't think anybody's there. I think they just made the software and then they all went on vacation. So there I am. That's what I got to say about that.
There was a question. I'm trying to find it. By the way, somebody comments they love the Paisley Telecaster and the P-Bass.
Oh, yeah. Are they in the background there? Yeah. The Paisley. Oh, hold on. Let me grab that.
That's an original.
Well, it's...
Right?
No, this is not an original American-made one. This is a Japanese version. Although even these Japanese ones have become collector's items to a degree. So I bought this. It might have been in the late 80s or early 90s. I was in a relationship with somebody. It's back when I was still painting houses. I mean, I had my studio and I was doing work, but I still wasn't making enough money, so I was still painting houses. I'd gotten a credit card. I don't know if they do this anymore. Do they just still send credit cards out to people now?
I believe they do.
Yeah, so somebody sent me a credit card and I was young. I was like, oh, I can go use it. So I took my ex down to Atlanta Discount Music and I bought her an acoustic guitar, an amp, cables, a tuner. I mean, she already had some stuff, but she needed an upgrade. And I'm sitting there and I was spending a lot of money, but I had a credit card. And I remember standing there and thinking like, well, I want to buy something for myself. And I remember looking way across the music store and I saw this guitar hanging up. And I was like, how much for that guitar? And they're like, $250. I said, I'll take it. I didn't even need to play it. And Jimmy, we had a gig that night.
I did? I don't remember this.
No, we had a gig. It was Tinjaw Joe when we were in Tinjaw Joe together.
Wait, was I with you at the store when you were
No,
Oh, okay.
We were playing at the Variety Playhouse that night.
Okay, I remember that show.
But I didn't know anything about, I'd always played a different guitar. I didn't know anything about Telecasters. I didn't know that they have low output.
Oh.
So I'm like, I'm going to play this guitar, without even like testing it. So we were downtown, so we went and played, and we're at the Variety Playhouse, and I had this up on stage. I think, I'm going to play this guitar, and I plug it in. I couldn't hear it because it's like half the volume of my regular guitar. But I love it. I use it all the time. It actually has a crack in the neck. The crack is there. You can't see it on camera. I threw this at someone. I have a bad temper. It's a lot better now, but I actually really got mad and threw this guitar during rehearsal, and it cracked. You can see it. But
I would like to say that it wasn't me.
It was not, kid, of course. But it still stays in tune and it plays, and I like this one.
Hold on. I found Let's see. Tireman Guitars said, do you ever use NS10s or Auratones?
Yes, I've got NS10s. Let's quickly go to the room. Why do I say room mic? Okay, you can barely see. I've got some I got NS10s. You can see one here. I've also got these Hafler. What are these things again? TRM 8s. They don't make the Haflers anymore. Those are the only two monitors I'm using now. I do have some Auratones. They're not hooked up because I don't really have what I think is the right power amp for them. But I'm a Yamaha NS10 fanatic, and these are actually probably the last original manufactured woofers because I think they're using different materials now. So these are like eventually I'll have to replace these with the newer ones. But I've been working on NS10Ms for years. At my other studio, The Zone, which is about an hour from here, I've got kind of the same setup there. I actually do most of my mixing and recording on the Yamahas. I'll even, if I'm tracking bass, me personally, I actually do it listening to the Yamahas, which is kind of funny because they don't really have much low end. But it made me realize if I can make sure, like, because, there's a big tonal difference on the bass depending on how you play it, how much mid-range you're getting. I feel like with big speakers, if you got good low end, you're missing some of the detail. But on the Yamahas, if I can get the bass popping in the NS10Ms, then it's going to sound good anywhere. So yeah, I'm all about my Yamahas. The key, I think, is, from what I've heard, is to get a power amp that's like way overpowered for the speakers, and then just make sure the power amps are turned down halfway or whatever. But I love my Yamahas. I use them all the time. Let's see. Somebody was saying something about Are you, Elijah, are you saying, dude, can I tell you the best guitar for the buck? Would you like to know? Of course. What is it?
I want to know.
Not that I'm going to go out and buy one, but I'm kind of curious. What is the best guitar for? Oh, I got another guitar story. Hold on. Let me grab this one. So this is a Paul Reed Smith. What is the? I don't know what the model number on this is. It's Mira X, and so this guitar. I'm trying to remember how I found out about it, but I was working with this band called Rehab, and I don't know if any of you guys know about the band Rehab. They're from down near Macon, Georgia, Warner Robins. And their lead guy is Danny Boone, who's a good friend of mine. And at the time they were signed to Universal Records, I did a couple albums for them on Universal. And Danny, because he was really famous for a while. I mean, he's still kind of famous. A lot of people know about him. Paul Reed Smith just gave him a guitar. He doesn't play guitar. It's crazy how much stuff people just giving him. Manufacturers have sent him. So he's got microphones, all sorts of stuff. He doesn't use any of that stuff because it's not what he does. So anyway, we were in a session and the whole band was there, and he talked about how Paul Reed Smith had sent him a guitar. And he's like, I don't want it. I'm not going to do anything with it. Now, at the time, I had a laptop. I was working on my desktop, but I had a laptop sitting there, and I had one of those little 2-channel Apogee converters. Like, it's just a little 2-channel interface for a laptop. And Danny looked at it and he said something like, I'd rather have something like that. I didn't use that thing, and it was kind of expensive at the time. But not as expensive this guitar, but expensive for a little 2-channel. It was like $500, $600 or something like that. And he says, boy, I'd rather have something like that. And I said, would you like to trade? Because this guitar is, I think, $1,000 or I don't know, something like that. And he's like, hell yeah, I'll trade with you. And the guys in the band are like, Danny, don't do it. That interface is only worth a few $100. That guitar's worth over $1,000 or something like that. And Danny's like, I don't give a shit. I want the interface. So I stood up and I handed it to him. We shook hands. He didn't have the guitar there. And I was actually going down to Florida for a filming trip the next week. And I said, when I come driving by your town, I'm going to get off at the exit and you're going to bring me the guitar. So we stopped, met like at a little convenience store. And he gave me the guitar. I actually don't play it that much. I probably should. I kind of forget that it's here because it sits over there. So I don't know. Maybe I should try this out. Let's see.
Tiwanaku one asks, thoughts, will Studio One ever be the industry standard?
I mean, I don't know. I've not really messed with Studio One. I think right now the industry standard to a lot of people is Pro Tools. But I think it would depend on what industry you're talking about. If you're like in, EDM music and all that, I think a lot of it's like Ableton, I guess, I don't know much about Studio One. To me, it's kind of like I could give a damn, like they all have pluses and minuses. They all got good things and bad things about them. I've been doing some tutoring lessons for a guy who's in Cubase, and it actually sounds good and has some great tools in it, but the routing and it's a pain in the ass. Logic sounds great, but I'm not crazy about certain aspects about that, I don't really, it's just like whatever works for you, Okay, so over on Twitch, there's a question from I'm going to say Fragile. Thank you, Kit. And he says, I was wondering about patch bays. A friend of mine offered me a Neutrik and don't need switchable normaling. Is a Samson all it's cracked up to be? I have some older Samsons over here. I would probably lean towards the Neutrik. And as far as the switchable normaling, you can switch it back and forth. It doesn't matter. I just think that they're a better build. Me personally, I mean, you'll see some older patch bays back here. Oh, thanks for the tip. Awesome. Tiwanaku on Kit.
Oh, man.
Wait, I can't see who you're trying to
It's over
read.
on YouTube. Somebody just tipped me $2.99.
Tiwanaku is how I would say that.
Tiwanaku.
I suck. Thank you so much. But anyway, I've got some patch bays back here, and you'll see some Sansons. I don't use those anymore. My issue with a lot of the patch bays that have like the little circuit board, like the Neutriks are like this, that has a circuit board, I wore them out because back in the day I was doing sessions every freaking day and constantly patching stuff in and out. It's not quite like that anymore, but I just have a thing, and I do use a Neutrik for certain things, like some of the stuff we're doing live is going through a Neutrik patch bay, but most of my patch bays, and unfortunately I don't have the camera set up right now for that because I got my patch bays over here. My patch bays are ancient, hardwired, solid metal things. Pain in the ass to set up, but they're going to last forever, and I just want to make sure I'm getting a really good, solid connection. But I would probably lean towards the Neutriks. They're pretty damn good. I was going to play, so I put out a video earlier today. It's a follow-up to the video I did about my response to Rick Beato's video. Put it up about 45 minutes ago. I'm going to play you a little clip of that video right now. Let's watch this. All right, this is a little bit embarrassing because I had a lot of people comment and say, oh, I thought I was clicking on a Rick Beato video. And they accused me of stealing the thumbnail. Actually, Rick said the same thing when he called me. I was like, Rick, I didn't steal your thumbnail. Actually, I stole another frame from your video because I didn't like where your hand was at. But I just thought it'd be kind of funny to make it look like I was there with Rick. And then my wife points this out to me after I put out my last video. I'm like, oh my God, Rick, I swear I'm not stealing your thumbnails. However, maybe we're connected psychically or something. I don't know. But got me thinking, hey, maybe that's a good strategy. I could just copy other people's thumbnails. So that's another little clip from the video I put out today. I want to go through some of the people over here on YouTube, especially YouTube because I've been getting so many new subscribers and stuff there. So Zapvara's, oh my God. I'm so sorry. I can't even read normal things. But yes, no, I do not have a lava lamp in my studio. I have a. Can y'all see the thing? That's not.
It's a salt lamp.
It's a salt lamp. I have a salt lamp. I've actually got like several lava lamps sitting somewhere in the basement here. I just got to get the little bulb, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. Chronic Dream, thanks so much for the tip. I appreciate that. So yeah, I need to get a lava lamp. I'm a little embarrassed to say it. Bernard Shreve on YouTube saying you love Cubase. God, man, one things I like about Cubase is those, like when you go to the channel, it's already got built-in EQs and saturators. They sound great. It's just the routing on that thing's a nightmare. But there's some great stuff on it. Let's see. I want to go up. 35 miles of lead. Whoa. Well, thanks for commenting. Everybody talks. I know a lot of people that use Studio One. I keep saying, I'm going to try it out. I get kind of fed up with Pro Tools sometimes because it's a great professional platform, but it's just kind of boring. And as a company, their support's kind of, but who knows? Let's see. Okay, Michael KC, he says he just started watching your videos. Really entertaining. Keep up the good work. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I work my butt off on this stuff. I've been doing it for a few years now. I feel like I'm finally figuring out how to make a good video. I look back at some of my older videos and I think I might go delete some of them, or maybe I should leave the bad ones up there. I don't know. I really struggle. And as a matter of fact, hold on, don't go there yet, Harper, but I want to show y'all something. I have problems making videos. Okay. Oh, I'm spelling it wrong. Oh, maybe it's not here. Dang it. I was going to...
You're looking for the one on Patreon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to tell you how to put it up there.
Oh, hold on. Oh, wait, it is here. Hold on. It's got to be here somewhere. I'll just play
Billy
it up.
sometimes has stuff up on Patreon that he doesn't put anywhere else.
Oh, hold on. Don't go to the DAW yet. I can play it. I just got to kind of play it a weird way. Hold on. Let me find this. I just want to show you. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I'm going to play that. Let me get this ready. This is how I struggle. This is a typical video making process for me. Okay, let's switch over to this. What's up? I'm Billy Hume, and I got a little story for you. Hold on. It's doing it at a low resolution. Sorry, guys. I can't deal with a low resolution. Hold on. Wait, why is it? I'm being very unprofessional. Hold on. Hold on. Why is it all blurry? Oh, my God. What am I doing here? You'd think I know how this stuff works. Okay, hold on. We're getting there. Quality. Oh, it's working. Okay, here we go. What's up? I'm Billy Hume, and I got a little story for you. When I was young, I had a false sense of myself, and that was because when I started playing music, I had a small parents... Oh, intro, new, take, whatever. We're not going to talk about small parents here. All right. What's up? I'm Billy Hume, and I got a story for you. When I was young, I had a small... What's up? I'm Billy Hume, and I got a story for you. When I was younger, I had a false sense of myself, and that was because... Jesus, why can't I fucking... Because when I started playing music, right? Of course, I know this. Why can we not? Can we not? Who am I talking to? Okay. What's up? I'm Billy Hume. What's up? I'm Billy Hume, and I got a story for you. When I was young, I had a false sense of myself, and that was because when I started playing music, I had a false sense of myself. I gotta get this done. This is literally the last damn thing I gotta do. I haven't had a drink. I haven't smoked anything, I swear. I've had a lot of coffee, though. That might have something to do with it. What's up? I'm Billy Hume. What's up? What's up? I'm Billy Hume, and I got a story for you. When I was young, I had a false sense of myself. And that was because when I started playing music, I had a small studio in my parents' basement where everybody would come and record shit. God, oh my God. What's up? I'm Billy Hume, and I got a story for you. When I was young, I had a false sense of myself. And that was because when I started playing music, I had a studio in my parents' basement where everybody would come over and record. I got it. Oh, shit. All right, so yeah, that's actually pretty typical for me, making videos. Somebody's like, oh, you should put out some blooper reels. It's like my whole channel would be blooper reels. I was even on something I was working on last night. I had to do 10 takes, and it was perfect. I kept saying one word wrong. And it was like, I don't know what it was. I had to put a big piece of paper up. I don't know, man. It's tough. But I appreciate that you all like my videos and all that. I do work hard on them.
So we have to give out a shout out to Poo Poo in My Diaper, who not only gave us a tip, but specifically requested that we say his name.
Poo Poo in My Diaper is here again. Okay, so whoever that, he or she or whatever, Poo Poo commented last week. I was about to say something, and I looked at the name like, I don't know if I want to say that. And then, Kit, you brought it up too. And we're like, oh my God. Okay, but you paid $2 so that we would say your name. Okay, your name got said. I hope you're happy now. Oh, do I hit like on that? Hold on. I think I should like this. What is the proper pronunciation of Moog? Love your content. I mean, it looks like Moog to me. Some people call it Moog, and they'd look at me and go, it's not Moog, it's Moog.
It's mauve.
I don't know what the hell,
Is it mauve?
I don't know. Oh, you know what? That reminds me, though. I don't know if anybody here is into Emerson, Lake and Palmer. They were a band from the 70s, and one of the first people really feature these kind of synthesizers in their music. And, oh, God, I'm just such a huge fan of them, and especially the Brain Salad Surgery album. Oh, my God. I listened to it over. I had a cassette. I had it on cassette, and I had a little cassette player, and I'd just flip it over and play it and flip it over and play it and flip it over. Well, there's a computer museum here near Atlanta. It's in Roswell, Georgia, which is north of Atlanta. And Kit and I took one of our kids there a few months ago, and I'm walking around, and I look over in the corner, and there's this massive Moog synthesizer in the corner, and it's the one that Keith Emerson played on Brain Salad Surgery. He signed it with, I guess, something on there. It's amazing. So I actually filmed it. I'm going to make a video about it, just like a reel or something like that. But yeah.
And shout out, hey, any of y'all in the Atlanta area, it's the Computer Museum of America. It's near Roswell. It was way cooler than I anticipated.
It was
really cool.
It was. Oh, they had an Enigma machine there. An Enigma machine, in case nobody knows, in World War II, the Nazis had a like really hard to break code. Their encryption for their messages was this thing called an Enigma machine. And if you've ever read any Neil Stephenson or Cryptonomicon or anything like that, you would know about, they get deep into like codes and encryption and all that. Well, the Allies actually broke the code, and there's a whole interesting history behind it. But they actually have one of the original Enigma machines at this computer museum. You should check it out. I was just so blown away. Let's see if there's any other things I want to kind of make sure I'm.
Did we ever follow up on the?
What's the guitar I should get?
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on.
What's the cheap guitar?
Let's see. That was Elijah Powell. I've played these guitars with Floyd Roses usually, and they play like $2,000 guitars, but only like $200 or $300.
What guitar?
You should check out the Jackson JS32 Dinky Archtop. These guitars sound really versatile, like country, jazz, hard rock. They are really good, but they've a smaller body than guitars like Kramer's. Have you ever heard of any of these?
Hold on, I'm typing it in right now. Jackson what?
What was it? Jackson JS32 Dinky Archtop.
Dinky. I hope I'm spelling this. Archtop. Jansen, the Archtop. Let me. Oh, that's not what I thought it would look like. Is it this? Jackson guitar is always kind of funny looking. When you said Archtop, I figured maybe it'd be a hollow body or something. So, it's only like not even 400. So, okay. I mean, I remember back in the day, and it's interesting because it seemed to me like Jackson guitars I thought used to be really expensive, or maybe that's just a perception I had, but I did have a lot of friends that played them. Oh, interesting. I'll check into that. Okay, I was going to say, somebody said something up here. Hold on. There was something I wanted to come back to. Sometimes I get off, like, I get out of sequence here.
Sequence? Like you out of sequence? You're so... Actually, I was about to joke that you're so organized, but the funny thing is you are, even as you're disorganized.
Yeah. I have a weird... somebody was asking me... Well, it's funny because somebody was asking me about how do you mix? Like, what do you mix first? And it's kind of like, well... I kind of mix the drums first in a way, but it's not like I mix all the drums and then the bass and the guitars and the vocals and then I'm done. If you sat here and watched me mix, you would be like, what the hell is that guy doing? I will literally go, I jump all over the place. I'll get certain things to a certain point, and then I'll jump over to vocals, and then jump to guitar, and depending on what I'm working on, I might even jump back and record something at the last minute or change something. But I do things in a really weird order, and a lot of it has to do with just that, once you start mixing something, often what'll happen is that brings attention to something else, and then I'll jump over there. So it's like it's really all over the place. There's no kind of order, and I do that in a lot of the stuff I do, even when I'm making videos. Like, I guess I should do things in a particular order. I've been experimenting with my videos like, well, should I write out... And I don't really write scripts anymore unless there's a very particular line I want to say, but usually I have a bullet point thing, and I try to freestyle it as much. So I don't really do that so much anymore, but then it's like, should I shoot? And I know this sounds crazy. Sometimes shooting the B-roll first is a cool thing because I kind of know it changes my mind about the flow of things, but I've never... And another thing, too, I don't use templates for mixing. I tried. And it just seemed like more work to me. I kind of do everything, and for better or worse, everything I do to some degree is kind of from scratch. I have a few presets, and I think I have like some in Pro Tools. I think I have like a couple reverb channel strips and a vocal channel strip. I definitely have like my master. I kind of got different type of master ones, but they always get changed. There's no setting for anything.
Don't miss Chronic Dreams comment there.
Where at?
It's highlighted.
Where?
Are you scrolled down all the way?
No. Why would I be scrolled down? Oh, thanks, man. Oh, the Beatles were the first to use a Moog? You know what's a bummer is that their factory used to be in Asheville, North Carolina, and I've worked up there at Echo Mountain, which is a great studio, and I love Asheville. I hope they're recovering from the floods and all that. But I never went to the museum, and I probably could have gotten like an easy tour or something like that, just like because I know people up there and all that. And then they sold it and they moved it out of town. I was like, why didn't I ever go? I could have gone. I don't know. Oh, I need to like that, dude. Thanks so much for the tip. Really appreciate that. That's so awesome. I also wanted to mention something else. There's been so much about this week that's kind of changing for me with my YouTube channel because I don't know where I'm at now. The last video I put out, I'm wondering it might crack 100,000 today. Maybe. We'll see. It says 99,000. It's holding right there. Watch it get no more views. But hey, man, I'm so happy. But the other thing is I had somebody actually do a video. Hold on, let me look this guy up. It was on my buddy Shadiq in Alaska hit me up about this, and he said that hey, there's this guy doing a live stream about your video. So he played my video and critiqued it live, and so you can see right here. Let's go to my screen. So this guy, Weaver Beats, he did a response, and like, look at that picture. Like, look at his face. He's like looking at me like, oh my God, did I? So I was like, oh, I was too freaked out to look at it. Nobody's ever done this before. So I was like, hey, Kit, can you watch the video and see if they just ripped me to shreds? And it wasn't actually that bad. And then I went back and I made some comments. But yeah, it's kind of like wild. Like, that's a new one. Like, nobody's ever actually done a video about my video. I guess I better get prepared for that stuff if I keep getting views and all that. Yeah, Weaver Beats. It's let's see. It's yeah, I think it says, hold on, just click on it here. So it's, oh yeah, so here it is. Weaver Beats. And you can see the picture of, is Scooby-Doo the dog, or is it that guy?
No, that's Shaggy.
That's Shaggy. So he's got Shaggy as his...
Man, get your cartoon character straight.
I didn't watch cartoons. I was doing other stuff. I was either doing music or like doing something illegal. So yeah, go check out the video. But yeah, it was kind of cool. That was kind of an honor, actually, that somebody would like, I got called old man a lot. Like, most of his followers are pretty young. I was called an old bloke. And then somebody said, oh, he's an old man. He's like an old man screaming at the clouds, but he's actually right. So.
No, it was old man yells at cloud for all the right reasons.
Oh, for all the right reasons. I mean, I am old. I just forget about it. So anyway, let's see. Let me go. I was going to go back to YouTube here. Camera. Wait, the ubiquitous beaver wheats? There's so many comments up here. They're kind of coming by really fast. We have come to reacting to reactions. Yes. And so, yeah, the video today, because I was trying to figure out how to call the video I put out today. I was like, what do I call it? Because I'm following up my video, which is a response to Rick Beata's video, which is a response to something in society. So it's like somebody now could do a response to my response to my response. At a certain point, it's time to move on. Oh, there's a Moog documentary on YouTube. That's from Sabia. Oh, God. But thank you. Let's see, Wizard Music.
I mean, to be fair, your most recent video is more a response to the comments on your video.
Well, yes, it's more about the response. And some people, it got me really thinking about a lot of stuff. And there's some people that kind of said some things. It's like, wow, I never thought about that, Oh, wow. So, Tireman Guitarist says, my father was one of the coders who broke the code in World War II. That's amazing. Did you see the movie? What was it called? It was Alan Turing, and it's called...
Oh, we were just talking about that movie over on Discord. I mean, not Discord, Twitch.
Yeah, but what's the name of the movie?
I can't remember.
Because I actually did a reel about it. Hold on. Y'all should go check this out. Alan Turing movie. And I actually was I mean, I've read a lot about Alan Turing, and I've read books about it, but the movie was really good. Oh, The Imitation Game. Go check this out.
That's it.
Yeah, go check it out, man. Go check out The Imitation Game. Kind of mind-blowing, and will really get you thinking about some stuff. But yeah, Alan Turing, a unsung hero, and all your grandfather and all of them, like what they did. You know, what's interesting about a lot of the code breaking that they did is they kind of broke the code. How can I explain this? They broke the code by studying what they thought they were not talking about, if that makes any sense. I'm not smart enough to actually explain it right. But yeah, that's amazing, man. That's such a cool thing to have in your family. Oh, hey, Brazil, from Kelvin. Nice to see you there in Brazil. And I know I didn't stick with my theme today. My theme was supposed to be doing it wrong. Jimmy, do you have anything else to say about doing things wrong?
Just don't be afraid to do things wrong. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to experiment. Don't live within the box. No rules. Break the rules. Yeah, you'll stumble and make some mistakes, but in the long run, you're in a better place for sure.
Yeah, I often will, like when I was playing more, if I hit a bad note, I'd sometimes hit it a second time just to make sure it really was a bad note. maybe it was a good note. No, actually that was a bad note. And then sometimes like, actually that's kind of interesting.
Casey points out, you're doing it wrong now, Billy.
I know I'm doing it wrong. I'm totally not sticking to the theme of today's video. But you know what? I deserve some sort of little like rambling break. I've been working my butt off. So yeah, I'm definitely doing it wrong. But whatever, man. That's kind of... I had a Walkman. Wait, so somebody's talking about a Walkman. Maybe that's...
Oh, you're way back. Yeah, we were talking
I'm trying
about
to go back and like
a
I want
Walkman. We were talking about a rotary phone. Yeah, that was over
Small
on YouTube,
parents.
going way back.
Oh boy, yeah. I do think I need to get off the stream though because I need a triple track and I don't cut and paste. What do you mean? Wait, hold on, Christopher
Zen.
Well, he's actually talking about two different things. They recovered docs from a downplane too, I think, but that's something. Oh, yeah. He's talking about the movie. Sorry, but he says I triple track and don't cut and paste. I'd like to know what you mean. I know what you mean by cut and paste, but I don't know what you mean by triple track. I don't know. Radio end times. If the NPCs are any good, I've still got mine. Hold on.
I'm trying to find Billy's short about I seem to remember it was about the coders in World War I or II. You did a short. I'm looking for it.
Yeah. It's up on my YouTube somewhere. It's probably called...
yeah, that would
it's
help
probably
me.
called totally the wrong name.
Oh,
yeah,
that doesn't help me.
This is my MPC. I don't use it for sequencing anymore, but I can hook it up as a controller. Somebody actually helped me figure that out. It was actually really simple. I don't know why I couldn't figure it out. It was a young kid. He's like 17 or 18. I spent, weeks trying to figure out how to, and he came in 5 minutes, had this thing as a controller. I love this thing. Love this. I don't know about the new NPCs, to be honest with you. I don't know. The thing I liked about this old one, and it's in one of, this video that came out, is that it was a little bit inaccurate, and I like the sound of that.
Found it.
Oh, thanks. Good night. About my tape delay video. Oh, and you're from Austria. Oh, cool. I was born in Germany, and then I was a little kid, and then I moved back when I was a teenager, and I lived in southern Germany in Göppingen. I was born in Landstuhl, which is near Kaiserslautern, and then lived in Göppingen, and then moved to West Berlin. This was all in the 70s. But yeah, we went into Austria a lot. We were just talking about Germany earlier. So let's see if there's anything else, because, how do you deal with artist moods during a session? Well, let me tell you what. I think people that work with me know that my mood, my vibe, and my energy is so going to exceed almost anybody else's. They kind of stay out of my way. But, but it is a good question. I'm just kind of kidding around. I feel like the job of a producer is... Yeah, and I think a lot of younger people don't understand that because they're making beats and stuff like that. In the old days, a producer often didn't touch any gear or anything. They're more like a director. And a lot of it was about the vibe. And I think that for me, I have a lot of little techniques. Like if somebody's in a bad mood and all that, I'll just be like, well, like, let's just stop the session.
Oh, damn. Welcome, Raiders, over on Twitch.
Oh, hey, what's up? Oh, thanks so much. Oh, Soundbites TV. Yeah. Oh, yeah, what's going on? Appreciate it. Hey, I'm going to come back to your question there. Lumana on Instagram. Did anybody get notifications on Twitch? Appreciate the raid. Thanks so much. That's so awesome. But I just would like to know if anybody actually got a notification on Twitch. I've been struggling with it, and I changed the setting this week. You didn't get a notification?
No, it never came in.
I keep changing my settings. Nothing's working. And, of course, there's
Casey's going to try to help us out with that later.
Okay, yeah. So, but going back to what about the artist moods in the studio, if somebody's just being difficult and all that, I'll just kind of call them out. It's like, well, would you rather come back later when you feel like doing it? Don't waste my freaking time. I will snap at somebody. I don't give a shit, you know? It's like, I'm here to work, and I understand if things are going bad for you and all that. Sometimes that can be a good thing, and if you're depressed, sometimes it can be a good thing. But if you're just being pissy or you're mad about something, well, then you go chill out and, like, let me get other work done. On the other hand, sometimes people are feeling a little insecure or something like that, and I'm totally cool with that. Like, I understand being nervous, and I get nervous for my live streams, but a lot of time is about distracting people so they don't actually know that they're recording. So one of my tricks is, when I'm recording, especially a vocalist, I will record them and just tell them that I'm, I'm just checking the audio or something, and I record it all, because sometimes those first 2 takes are just fucking great. Another thing, and this is not necessarily about moods, but when you're punching in a singer, like, oh, I need you to punch in these 2 words, I usually try to not let the singer know what it is I'm punching in, Now, the thing is that usually when you punch in, they can't hear themselves until you actually are recording, so they obviously know. If you're in Pro Tools or Ableton, you can switch the monitoring over if the track is armed for recording, so that as it's playing, they're hearing their mic input, not what's recorded there. So what I do is when I'm recording singers before the punch-in, and I always tell them I'm doing this, like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and switch the input monitoring over. There's a couple reasons that it's good to do that, because that way they can adjust their volume and their pitch and all that, because if they only hear themselves at the moment they punch in, it's like, oh, here I am. The other thing is they never really know where you're punching in. So that's one way to kind of keep people from getting nervous, and unless I need a very specific thing. But I think dealing with people's moods is what it's all about. That's why my studio, it's a small studio in my home, and all my studios have been in homes. I go out of my way to kind of make it funky. It's not always clean. Sometimes it's a mess. But I feel like, having cool things, interesting, weird. It's basically, this is like a wizard's den. This is some sort of mad scientist lab here, which has been my whole goal my whole life. It's like, why have a studio if it doesn't look like some sort of mad scientist lab? Dude, there's so many weird things laying around here. If you were here, I've got skulls. I got so much weird crap here. Sometimes I'll find things. And that's like a thing that makes it kind of, I think, just makes people feel good about it. Also, just being real about stuff. I do spend time talking to people, and sometimes people are having, mental health issues, or sometimes it's just there's things going on in their life, and then if we need to stop, we'll talk about it. The other thing is taking breaks, switching out. If they've got multiple people in the studio, maybe switching out who's doing what. Like letting somebody take a break. I do think a lot of being a producer and working with people in the studio is kind of being like a psychiatrist, a counselor. And it's part of your job. I feel like in a way that's more important than whether you can get a slightly better vocal sound or whatever, because you can have the best vocal chain or whatever. It is not going to make any difference if the vibe's not right, And sometimes I'll keep something because I like the emotion, even though there's a mistake. Like there's this one guy, Zach Hooper, who you probably, I think I've had him on a stream, and he's been in some of my videos. And he has this way of like grabbing the mic and he spits on the mic after I always clean it. And his technique is terrible. But you know what, man? And I don't let him do that on my large diaphragm condensers. I record him on an SM7. But man, I'll keep those takes because some of those are just like amazing. Like if you actually solo them up, you're like, what's he saying? Like it sounds like he's spitting the mic there. But I just let him do it because I get a better take with that than if I am just like, well, stand at the mic, So I don't know. There's no easy answer to that, but I think a lot of it is like you and the other thing is if you're going to deal with artist moods, then you better make sure your mood is right. Like if you got issues going on and all that, you better keep them out of the damn studio as much as you can, because it's the artist it's their time there. It's not about you. Whoever's recording, it's about them.
Followers or
and
subscribers recording that they can't see when you go live?
I don't know why this video just started. Oh, actually, it's a video about why my Twitch followers are not getting notified. That's kind of funny. Let's see. There was some. I know I went on a little rant there. PR, you keep wanting me to send you some guitars. Like you hit me up like, send me some country guitars. It's like, look, man, if you want some guitars, you got to come here and hang, or we got to do it online. It's kind of weird to do a guitar part like remotely. I don't know. It's why I don't make tracks. People are like, oh, you should make some tracks. It's like, yeah, I could, but I'm just going to make what I like. If I'm going to make a track for an artist, they need to be here with me. Even if they're not saying anything, because I'm going to see them out of my corner of my eye, and I'm going to see them kind of going like this, or they're typing on their phone. If they're typing on their phone, I'm probably not doing something good, It's like I need somebody in the room with me when I'm making tracks. Let's see.
So let's see. Billy.
Hold on. I just want to say I am bounced back. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Sean K says, your voice sounds great on the YouTube stream. Is your talking mic chain different from a typical singing mic chain?
Well, not too much. I'm using this RE20, which I've really gotten to love. I bought this like, I don't know, 20 years ago or maybe 20 years ago. And I got it for recording bands, like miking a bass cabinet or for kick drum. And I didn't like it for any of them, so I put it in the box. And then I started pulling it out for occasional things here and there. And then when I started this YouTube stream, I thought, oh, that's like a radio announcer's mic. I have an SM7, and I never really liked the SM7. And then I pulled this out because I've got a really mid-rangey voice. Like, my voice is like, my voice could cut through diamonds. I swear. It's just like, my voice is so harsh. I sing background vocals, and I have to turn my voice way down when I'm singing with people because it's so distinctive. And I got this incredible, like, 3.8K, 3.7, sometimes it's a little lower, boost in my voice. I got a ton of upper mid-range. This mic smooths it out. It's also very directional. This mic is amazing. And actually, I kind of accidentally recorded acoustic guitar with it. Not accidentally, I just needed to record something quick and it sounded amazing. So I don't usually use this for vocals. This is I was running into a Cappy mic pre, but I was actually, when I changed the studio, something changed and I got to check the grounding. So I'm not using that today. A few days ago, I switched over to a Focusrite ISA 110. Just so you know, the Focusrite ISA 110, I bought it when they first came out. It is not the same as a lot of the Focusrite ISA 110s. They changed the manufacturing. They're not as good. This thing is more like a Neve. It cost me a lot of money, and it was like the first run. And it's like kind of a Magic mic pre, but it's very Neve-y. It's got that warmth sound. So I'm running into that. I'm not EQing it at all. And then I'm running that into a distressor compressor, which is another thing I use on vocals a lot. So yes, the mic pre and the EQ and the compressor is basically what I would do for vocals. And it's kind of the same settings. The only difference is I'm using this mic. So there, I hope that answers your question.
So real quick, Chronic Dream had a comment, and then we're going to go back to another question. Chronic Dream says, my uncle was your bus driver and occasional drummer for Leon Russell, and he told me he didn't like being in the studio and preferred touring.
Wow. Okay, that's an interesting story. There's a band called North Mississippi All-Stars, and they had this bass player. I forget his name, but I met him because I was working with Al Capone in Memphis, and he's buddies like with all those guys, and we were working at Young Avenue Sound, and he brought in the bass player. I think his name was Chew, maybe. And if I got this wrong, please, I apologize. But amazing bass player, and he'd been touring with them for years. And North Mississippi All-Stars, incredible. And he actually switched over to being a bus driver. I think I got this right. And it was just a lot about like lifestyle and a bunch of other stuff. And I was like, huh. And at first I was like, oh, that's terrible. But then I thought, I like driving. Being a bus driver might be fun. It made me think of something my dad would say to me when I would get bad grades in school. Oh my God, I got terrible grades, and my dad would say things like, because when I was younger, we all thought I'd get in the military. So my dad would say things like, don't you want to go to West Point? What do you want to be, a truck driver? And I remember one time I thought, well, truck driver sounds kind of cool. So I said yes. Whew. If you guys knew my dad was a colonel in the Army. That was the wrong answer. He never asked me, though, about West Point again. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, that's an interesting story. It's funny how a lot of people that are live musicians do not like being in the studio. And I'm not going to mention any names. They hate it. And I get it, because I like both. I love playing live. But I like being in the studio because in the studio I can say, oh, let me play it again. Live is like, oh, I screwed up and that's it. And there's a certain magic to that, and I like the pressure of that. But on the other hand, sometimes I'm not a great guitar player. I just want to get it right. I got to play it 3 times or 4 to get it right. I miss this part. But I get that. I know people that just hate being in the studio.
Hey, so the Electrolicious lets us know that your video broke 100,000.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my God. Finally.
Wow,
Woo-hoo.
yeah.
Oh my God, look
At
at that.
last.
I am blown absolutely away, and I'm over 16,000 subscribers, and oh my God, I'm just tripping on this. It's been a long time. I've got like 165 videos or more, and I've been doing it for a while, but oh God, thank you all so much
That's huge.
for watching. Yeah, it's incredible. Like Jimmy, you were here at the beginning of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he's been
at the
watching me like pull my hair out, like why, and figuring out how to make the videos. So yeah, thanks. That's oh my God. Yeah. Oh, 35 miles of lead. When you said the Army needs truck drivers too, oh my God, that brings back this memory. So there was a point I was playing music and I was really into it, and at a pretty early age I decided I'm going to do this for a career. My parents, I think, were still thinking I might go to college. And I remember I knew after going and visiting my brother in college, he was at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, and I went up there and spent a wild few days up there, and I came home thinking like, God, if I go to college, I'm going to waste my parents' money. I'm not going to get good grades. I'm going to be partying all the time. I'm going to be sleeping. So I went home and I sat my parents down and I said, I got good news and I got bad news. What do you want to hear first? And they were like, let's hear the good news first. And I said, I'm going to save you a lot of money. And they're like, oh, great. What's the bad news? I said, I'm not going to college. And they're like, okay, well, you better figure some stuff out. So, for like the next couple years, as I'm, finishing up high school, my parents would always be like, you could get a job as a postman or you could do this. And like, I'm going to do music. But I do remember one time my dad, because he thought, when I was young, I was going to go into the Army. And then one day my dad looks at me and he goes, the Army needs musicians too. So I was like, I know, man. I've seen the Army bands. I lived on Army bases and they'd have these parades. And I liked living on Army bases and I liked the parades, but I don't want to go out and be in an Army parade band, and I don't really want to be in an Army. Like they had jazz bands. Like some of their jazz bands are actually really, really good, but they wear uniforms while they're playing. Like, okay, I'm going to wear a military uniform and play jazz. Seems kind of weird, but I also knew that I would probably end up getting court-martialed, or I would do something. It's like, let's just get rid of the heartache and all the drama. I'm just not going in the Army. I'm going to hop in a van and I'm going to start driving around in a cover band and playing at like a rundown Holiday Inn somewhere in the middle of South Georgia.
Behind chicken wire?
Well, no, that was in Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
We didn't actually play behind the chicken wire. We got the gig. And we pulled up, and we had a couple days till we were supposed to play the gig. And there was like a little building out back, like a little mini hotel for the bands. It was out in the middle of nowhere. It was on a dirt road. And I go in the club, and we were going there to check out the stage, and they had chicken wire. And the singer, who is from Rhode Island or somewhere up north, and he was like freaked out by it. To me, I was like, "Oh my God, I get to play a place with chicken wire. I hope somebody tries to throw a bottle at me." And the idea of it to me seemed exciting. It freaked everybody out in the band that they called up the manager, and he got another gig, so we left and we never played the place. I wanted to do at least one night behind chicken wire, right? Didn't happen. But I did play in some weird Holiday Inns in the middle of nowhere. I played at a Holiday Inn lounge in West Virginia, and it was like there was like these coal miners there. It was wild. It was great. I'm glad I did it. I learned a lot from it, So, but so much for the Army.
Benny Farinacci says, curious to know what your basic setup was for your first studio and when that was. Do you still listen back to the old tracks to get any ideas for what you're currently doing?
Yeah. So, Kit, could you find the live stream where I'm playing stuff off my 4-track?
Yes. No, that wasn't Look What I Found. Okay, I know where I can find it.
Yeah. So hold on. Where is this on? What platform is this?
That question was on YouTube.
Okay, and who was it?
Benny Farinacci.
Okay, Benny. God, I don't my scrolls. So Benny, hold on a second. Let me look for a picture here. So the first thing I recorded using was hold on. I can't talk and type at the same time, unfortunately. So I started on cassettes. So I started by, I'd have a cassette deck and I had a little I still got the microphones. It's these little Panasonic microphones. My dad, this was in the 70s. And I would record to one cassette deck. And then what you would do is you would run the line from one side of that cassette deck into like the left side of another cassette deck. And on the right side, I'd plug a microphone in. So on the left side of the second cassette, you'd have the first part you played. On the right side, you'd have the second part you played. And I did have some kind of mixer. And then I can't remember how I'd bounce that back. Oh, no, I would put the cassette playback machine in mono, so it'd play both tracks. So I'd do that. I'd go back and forth between cassettes. You only had so much control. That's what I started on. Then I moved on to, oh, my God. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. There it is. Okay, let's go to my DAW here. So this is my 3340S. I got this when I was 15 years old. I bought it for $800 in the late 70s because I still have the reels of reel to tape. So I have reels going back to 1978, and I had a basement in my parents' studio. I had some Radio Shack microphones, and I had a little mixer. Oh no, hold on, I'm gonna get this. Hold on a sec.
I found the live stream that Billy was talking about where he was playing some of his old tapes. I pasted a link in Twitch and YouTube. I'll try Instagram, y'all. Links don't work there.
All right, and I had to go get this because, like I said, there's so much stuff, and it was in the other room in there. This was my first mixer. Not this exact one. I don't know what happened to my actual... Did I get rated again?
Yes, thank you for the raid,
thanks.
Gear Twister.
Got rated over there on Twitch. This is not the exact mixer. I don't know what happened to the other one, but this is the same type. I don't even know where this came from. It just showed up. I know it's not the same because it's a slightly different color. This was my first mixer. So check it out. You'd had, so you had 4 inputs, 1, 2, 3, 4, coming out of the reel to reel, and then you had 2 that went out to to mix down. Now this is what's really crazy. Here was your panning. There's no volume. You controlled the volume by the output on the, and you got to realize back in the day, there weren't like guitar centers and stuff like that. Like getting a mixer, you had like companies like Peavey that made mixers for gigs and all that, but a studio mixer, it just didn't exist. So here's how you pan. So if you wanted all your tracks in the middle, you set the knob to the middle. If you wanted to go to one side, you'd pan left and right. But let me tell you, it wasn't just things like this for people with little home studios. There's a guy has been a friend of mine for years. I hadn't seen him in a while, but Rodney Mills. So Rodney Mills recorded and mixed a bunch of like the classic Leonard Skinner records, and he produced 38 Special. And he was telling me a story about when he started mixing. He did a lot of classic records. With older mixers, you would have a pan switch. Then they came out with this thing that was a pan knob, and it was like an effect. Like you had a pan knob. And they considered it an effect, so they would like actually patch it into a channel. It's like, what channel gets the pan knob? So this was my first mixer. And that's what I started out on. And I might have, hold on, I've got other pictures of, let's see, I've got another one. Hold on. Just so you can see my setup. Hold on. Let me do, I got to go zone, parents. No, this new Mac has a hard time finding stuff. It's kind of driving me nuts. And I just want to show this to you because you asked. It's the only picture I have. Well, it's not the only picture I have of my parents, the studio I had in my parents' basement. It's the only one that shows any gear. But it is, hold on, let me see if I can find it here. I got a bunch of pictures in here. And I've been scanning so many pictures lately. It's actually in one of my videos, but it might be quicker to do it this way. And there's a weird story behind it. So I had the 4-track, and then I had a guitar teacher that had a home studio, and he had a bunch of gear, and he was kind of going broke. So one day he came downstairs. I was helping him engineer something for a client at his home studio. This was like in the 80s. And he said, I'll sell you everything here for $10,000. And I didn't have $10,000, but I talked my parents into co-signing a loan because I'd done that before and I always paid it back. And I bought everything and I was able to take all that home. So in this picture, if I can find it, there is some of that gear. So it's like I can't find it, damn it. Oh, this is driving me nuts. But I'll show you some stuff I've got. Like this has some of it here. So there's this one. So this is the second studio I had. You can't see that much here. You'll see an 8-track reel-to-reel. That's a 1/2-inch 8-track. My business partner, Mike Mullen, bought that using DBX noise reduction. But you can see a TRO 909 drum machine on top of that rack. I had a digital reverb. This was years after I started, though. And then you can see like a Ramza mixer there. I wish I could find that picture of my parents, but I don't know where it's at. But yeah, I started on a 4-track, and I actually have it in the back. Oh, and to answer your question, there is a live stream where I pulled it out when I started this YouTube channel. I started pulling out shit, and I went into a closet at my other studio, and I found these reels. I hadn't looked at them in years, and I pulled them out, and they still play. Some of them had to bake because tapes go bad. And I'm playing back recordings I did in high school. Some of them are terrible, but some of them like, oh, that's kind of good. And I actually did a live stream where I play back some of that music, and I'm actually going to redo one of them because it actually has a really great melody. I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
I put up a link to the live stream, which you can find on YouTube. I'm about to put up a link. You also made a video. Remember that video? I didn't know what I was getting into, and you detail that whole process.
I did not know what I was getting into.
No, you did not know what you were getting into. You've got some of that when you were first playing some of those tapes of the old stuff because you finally got it rolling.
And just for all of you who are watching my YouTube channel, I got to tell you, there's a lot more coming. I mean, the talking videos where I'm like reacting and all that, but man, I've got another reel-to-reel machine that I'm making a video about because it turned into a disaster. I hadn't finished it. I got depressed. I've got my old tapes. I've got my album that I'm working on, and there's going to be tape stuff in there and how I'm using some of these old tapes. But there's this incredible discovery. I'm going to mention it here. I don't want to talk about it too much. It could probably be a documentary. But my dad fought in Vietnam. My dad was a colonel, and when he was in Vietnam, he was like a captain or something like that. He went twice. And in order for my dad to communicate with my mom, we were living in Puerto Rico at the time because my mom was Puerto Rico, my dad bought a small reel-to-reel machine. It's a little teeny one. I'm not going to pull it out now because I've talked about this a little bit. But and then so my mom would record on a reel-to-reel machine, a little teeny one, send him tapes. He would send them back. I found the reel-to-reel machine about a year ago. I found the tapes. And then some things triggered in my head that, I kind of remember like recording and talking to my dad. Like Mama would be like, Billy, say hi to Daddy. And I'd be like, ding, 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 and then I'd sing a little song as a little kid. The tapes still work, and I there are some amazing discoveries. Like not only the things about my dad, but about me, and made me look at my parents. It didn't change what I thought about my parents, but it kind of confirmed some stuff, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing, and I spent a long time, so that's going to be coming up. At some point, it's just so much. So there'll be more analog stuff for sure. I got a lot more analog stuff too. But yeah, what was the person who originally asked the question? I'm babbling now.
I lost track of
It
who
was with a
originally asked
B.
the question.
He was asking about my first setup and tapes.
That's way up.
Yeah, well, I don't remember his name because I'm terrible. But anyway, yes, there will be more videos about the analog stuff. There's a lot of interesting discoveries. I'm in a weird way, I'm glad my YouTube channel's blowing up because I'm kind of just getting started. There's a whole thing about my album that I'm working on. Jimmy's going to be, by the way, you got to write something for my album.
I'll do it.
Okay. And
The pressure.
but that's involved. It's a long story, and some of the songs on the album are new. Some of them I started over 20 years ago because I was being an artist, and then I somehow became a well-known mixer and producer, and my artistic career got put aside. And then I pulled out some stuff. I've actually got a song that Bone Crusher's on that we recorded, and I started in 1997, 98. Bone Crusher's on it, and I forgot about it, and I pulled it up. Bone's on a song from the 90s, you know? So there's that. And there's just a lot of stories. There's a lot of stuff that is going to happen. Oh, and also somebody said on YouTube, I saw it, I want to make a comment about that involving crunk music. Where is it? You said something about crunk music. Now I can't find it because so many people are commenting.
I know. Let me pop in real quick.
Oh, hold on, Rhett. I'll get to you.
Usually on these live streams, we're simul streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm usually able to get to everybody's questions. I'm not able to today. There's too much going on, which is fantastic. Thank you guys.
We'll get it together.
Yeah. We're getting to the point where the whole highlight my message is going to start coming into play. So I'm doing the best I can. But if you've got something you really want to say, make sure to do highlight my message.
Yeah, somebody said something about crunk music. So I was, I worked with, I guess I'm like part of the crunk thing, which is kind of wild because I'm a mandolin player. But I want to do a video called Who Invented Crunk? Oh, boy. That's going to be something because I can't tell you how many people that are friends of mine and people I've worked with that they're pretty convinced that they invented it. I invented it. And somewhere I've got video, if I can find it, of a guy named Sammy Sam, who's kind of legendary in like the Southern scene. There's this whole rant where he went off and is like, I invented crunk. I brought it up with Al Capone in Memphis. He didn't say he invented crunk, but he had this whole thing about how crunk was started in Memphis, and he would probably know because he was there at the beginning. So that video is eventually going to happen. I got so many videos in my mind that I got to do. It's like there's only so much time, and I'm working on my own music. But yeah, with my album, there's a whole story behind that and some of the songs. And actually, on another one of my live streams, I was playing back old DAT tapes, which is this early digital recording medium, and I found a song that I recorded and mixed in 96 or 97 that sounded so good I'm going to put it on the album even though there's somebody on it who's now deceased, but I feel like I owe it to him. But what's strange is he says something in the song and it was just really kind of like prophetic. It's kind of crazy. It's just some crazy stuff with it, but it's all going to be in some videos. Okay, so Rhett, you were asking what's a Ramza? A Ramza is a mixer that I had, and I think I probably got a better picture of it here. Actually, I'll show you this. You'll see it in this picture here. This is like probably the first day I ever met Rick Beato. This was during a session with a band called Shrunken Head. And they brought over, I thought I was producing, and they brought over this guy, Rick, because he's a guitar player and had a bunch of ideas, and he really pissed me off. But then I was like, oh man, that guy knows what the hell he's talking about. So we became friends and started working together. If you look in the background, you'll see this Ramza mixer, and I've got some better pictures of it. It was made by Panasonic, and I bought it as part of that deal. Here's another picture of it right here. And let's see, I probably have another one somewhere. Oh yeah, here's a great shot of it. I used this thing for probably 15 years. I regret getting rid of it. It was 16 channels, 16 input channels, microline. It had 4 subgroups and 2 masters. And then if you look up here where my mouse is, you'll see this little section here. It was like a monitoring return section. So it worked great with my 16-track analog machine. So I could use the faders and the EQs for tracking, but I could monitor the returns off this section here. It was -10 unbalanced. The only thing that was balanced on it was the mic inputs. All the inserts, lines, in and outs were unbalanced, but I didn't know. And I did some of my first recordings with Rick Beato on this, some of my first rap recordings. I did some of the things that like helped make my career. I did on this mixer right here, and it was actually really good. And I don't know why I got rid of it. This is back when I would sell gear, like a fool. So anyway, that's what a Ramza is. Somebody's asking on YouTube, what converters do I use? I've got a Apollo quad, like one of the early Apollos, and I usually have a camera that can point at stuff. I just didn't have it hooked up today. I've got an Apollo 8-channel quad. I've also got a Rosetta, an Apogee Rosetta 800, which is an 8-channel converter, so I can light pipe them and I can get 16 inputs. I wish I had more when I'm doing bands, but I can usually get by with 16 if I'm doing drums and stuff. What is my music called? I have no idea. I have Kit, I only have 2 songs up on Spotify now. Kit can put the link up for that.
I'll find the Spotify link. And remember, y'all can go also on Billy's YouTube channel. If you go to playlists, there's a music playlist, and there's 2 songs. Those 2 songs are there as well.
Yeah, and
I'll see if I can find Spotify.
I was going to put up an album that I made in the 90s called Frisbee Bomb Craters, and it's in some of my videos. But I was talking about this earlier in the stream, but I'm having some issues with TuneCore, and I didn't upload it. It's a long story. I'm just kind of ticked off about it. So I really want to put it up because some of those songs are in my videos, and a lot of people comment, and I want them to be able to go hear it. But I'm waiting to see if TuneCore will respond. Like, do I get to talk? Hold on. I want to find out something real quick. I want to see if they respond. Have they responded? No. So the hell with them. I might have to switch to something else, or I might just, I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. But there's going to be more music coming out. Let's see. Are there any other questions? And at some point,
I think there's all kinds of stuff I haven't covered. And technically, we've long surpassed 1 hour stream. But
yeah, Kit tries to limit me to 1 hour because I'll just talk forever, and there's always things I need to do. Plus, she's got to drive one of our kids somewhere. So, but man, I just got to say to everybody, thanks so much. Wait, you have 2 Ramza 90s eras? God dang it. This is why I stay on these streams so long. So Americania, I can't say anybody's name. Americanica. I know I'm saying it wrong. What's wrong with me? You have 2 Ramzas? That's so cool. I actually really like that mixer. Why did I sell it? I mean, it's not like I'd be using it, but I just feel like I should hold on to it. Thanks, Sean K. Yes, I will be so Theo on YouTube. I will be doing more videos. Yes, I'm going to be doing more videos with my 16-track analog machine. I'm trying to get, and it's partially my fault, it needs some work. Some of the channels are a little funky, and I've got a guy that's going to come over, and there's actually a whole story behind that because he just developed a new compressor that he's selling, and we're gonna go. It's a long story. I've just been down. I've been kind of just down in here. I know he's wondering where I'm at. I meant to call him. I've been here working on this YouTube channel because I needed to get it going. But yes, there will be more 16-track analog videos coming out. You guys just gonna have to be patient with me because, in addition to doing this, I still need to make a living. So I'm still working, and I'm still, still. As a matter of fact. Since I'm saying that, I already played this once, and I'll go ahead and say this because I still got to make money. I'm not making enough money on YouTube to put all my time into it. But let's go ahead and play this little clip real quick. Maybe somebody will hire me. Harper, take it away. I love doing these live streams and answering your questions. I know sometimes I can't get into too much detail because I'm trying to get to everybody else's questions. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find videos about recording, mixing, production, as well as my past live streams. If you still want more in-depth knowledge, I do one-on-one private coaching and tutoring online to help you record and mix your songs. But we can also talk about the music business, your live stream setup, your studio setup, filming, editing, whatever. When we're talking, the time is yours. We're going to focus on what you need. I also occasionally record on people's songs live online while they watch so we can interact like we're in the studio together. If you're interested in doing any of this on an ongoing, regular basis, you can join my Patreon and sign up for private consultations. However, if you just want some help here and there when you need it, you can reach out to us at contactbillyhume@gmail.com and we'll take care of you. Now, back to our regular programming. All right, so, yeah, just hit us up if you need anything. Hey, Warren, over there on Instagram. I think I'm having a bunch of squirrel moments here. Like, I need to end the stream and do some stuff, but somebody says something, and I'm like,
yeah, you're having some squirrel moments. Also, my Instagram chat has frozen, so if anybody's saying anything over there, I have no idea.
Yeah. Braxel, thanks so much. Braxel, am I more of an analog hardware or plug-in kind of guy? When I'm tracking, of course, I've got a lot of hardware stuff here. Once I'm in the box, I mostly stay in the box. Sometimes I get mixes from people, and I just can't get the vocals right, so I'll run them through my distressor compressors as an outboard thing. But, once I'm in the box, I kind of stay there, So that's kind of how I work. So I really do need to go. I would love to keep talking. Rhett. Oh, God dang it, Rhett. You just you know what they're doing? Thanks, Rhett. You just gave me another squirrel moment. They're going to say something to keep me on the damn stream. And it's like, I got to get off stream. And then Rhett goes, the Tascam 520 console. I'm like, what? Wait, what? God dang it, man. Y'all stop. Y'all knowing how to play me here, man. But anyway, I do got to go. Jimmy's here. I got to talk to him about a couple things. And, man, I just want to say thank you to everybody. You have no idea what this means to me. The subscribers, the views. I literally cried when I started getting some of these views because I've been working so hard and I feel like I'm figuring it out. I just want to say thanks so much to everybody, and I really appreciate it. Everybody, please go watch the new video that I just put out. It's a response to a video, but it just came out today, and I'm putting out a couple more videos today. They're not big deals. They're kind of like a very niche type thing, but I feel like I need to do this video for certain people. But anyway, thanks to everybody so much, and I'll see you next Wednesday on the next live stream. See ya. Take 1, take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5, take whatever.